Welcome to the state of my account video. We're going to be going over my units, Espers, VC, equipment, etc. And I'll also talk about my playstyle, how competitive I am, and that way you kind of have a perspective of my account and how I'm looking at the game. That way when I give any sort of advice or commentary on what's going on in the game, you just know where I'm coming from. So with that said, let's get into it. Let's start right off the bat with how much I've spent in this game. So the grand total is $930. So I've spent this mostly on things like the daily purchase bonus to get shards for units or things like winter coins, etc. I've also spent it on things like the monthly Visior pack. I've bought those since they became an item every single month, so they give you 100 Viz every day for 30 days. And then I've also bought like the collab ones when we got like 500 Viz every day for 30 days. I would spend on those. And then otherwise I bought things that were on sale. So for example, when we had like the biggest Viz deal on Black Friday that was like half off, I bought that. The Dwayne bundle, whatever it is, I bought those types of bundles to get paid Visior. And I spent that paid Visior on guaranteed things. So buying things like packages in the shop that maybe have a ton of really valuable and hard to get resources, things like unit shards for discounted rates, things like guaranteed UR banners. So for example, I went for the Luel step up banner because that was guaranteed to get Luel and just a ton of shards. I've never spent on things where it's a total toss-up whether you're going to get the unit. So let's say they have the 3 step up where you have a chance of getting the new Helena, but you could also get these 3 dark units. I would never go for that. It's not guaranteed. That's not what I do. I've also never spent to buy Visior to pull. I think that's a really slippery slope. I don't think you should be spending paid Visior necessarily on pulling unless, you know, let's say you just have some and you're completing a step up or something. That's different than, oh, you know, I didn't get my unit, I'm going to go back in, I better go buy some more Visior. I don't condone doing stuff like that. I think that's kind of a dangerous way to play. So when you take a look at the 15 months that we've been playing the game for, that rounds out to about $60 per month. And that's really not that much. And something interesting that has come up during this time is that I actually have only bought one single console game, and that is the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I haven't finished. So I've definitely decreased my spending in other areas because I've been so focused on War of the Visions, and I think that kind of makes it worth it in a way. Now, that's just me justifying my spending. The only person that can really decide whether or not you should spend in a game is yourself, and you have to be comfortable with it. Now, I'm also spending money that I make from Patreon and from YouTube, and I'm not spending all of it. I actually I don't spend even close to all the money that I make. All the money, the small amount of money that I make on Patreon and YouTube, but it is more than $60 per month. So that I save, I put back into the content. If I'm, you know, like for example, when I bought this mic or other things like when I bought my computer. When I bought my new computer, I didn't spend any YouTube money until I had made the value of the computer back. And then I said to myself, okay, now I'm going to start spending YouTube money on doing things like War of the Visions. And that's kind of kept me in check. I don't ever want to just spend for the sake of it. I want to try to keep kind of like a reasonable spending in the game. All right, so where has that $930 gotten me? We'll take a look right now, starting with my units. So you can see I have 9 EX units here. I have a 10th one, which is Liart from the rare unit list. And I'm very happy with every single unit that I've EX'd because I've used them all in various content. In PvP for sure, in Guild Wars and Arena, also in PvE in the 3-star Esper fights. Now I am itching for more PvE content, like a lot of people are, to use these EX units and to their full potential. So hopefully that is something that's in you know, in the pipeline. But Otherwise, we'll take a look at the other units that I have built, and you can see with 9S I stopped at 99. There's some slow builds here that you might not have known about, like Sakura or Lucia, but the rest of the account is fairly standard. It's things that I've shown you that I have. I've definitely built all of the Mog Metal units if they're in the guild shop or barrack or in the the arena shop, whatever. I've done that, and then that's it for my URs. After that, it's just a long list of people that are level 30 or lower. I just got Garble for the first time, so my box isn't massive with URs, but I do have a pretty nice selection. Definitely all the units that I've wanted in this game I do have now. So one other thing I'll mention is actually there is one unit that I EX'd that I regret, and that's Silma. And it's not because she's not good enough, it's because I haven't used her, and that's 6 blossoms that, I could have put into something else. Now, maybe that means that I need to hold off on, EXing things and give it some more time. Maybe it means I need to focus on using Silma more because I haven't given her a fair chance. I know that she's good. I've seen people use her to great effect in CM, so I just have to, go ahead and try that myself. Now, looking forward, I'm really excited for Dario's EX job. He gets a Dispel, he gets a counter ability that stops people from using counters, and he just looks really exciting. Lots of HP added and lots of magic stat added, so he can actually deal damage with his magic-based attacks. And then the other unit I want to talk about is Durando. I'm actually really interested in EX jobbing Durando, and the one holdup I have is his agility, because he has got huge HP, he's got okay attack, and otherwise he's an earth unit. He could be really fun in cost limited content. He'd guarantee me the earth selection quest, which is not the reason to EX him, but I think it would just be really fun to make some content with Durando. It's just so hard because I know that if I wanted to use him in CM, his agility would be a massive barrier to him being successful in CM, even though he is a pretty big bruiser. So let me know if you think I should EX Durando, and I think if enough people call for it in the comments, I might just have to do it. Now we'll take a look at vision cards, and I have it sorted by UR, and I think that this is one of the major areas that shows if you've spent in this game, because it means that you can pull on the guaranteed shard banners and kind of just fill up your shards for your various cards. Now, I have definitely some element specific cards that I don't use as much as I would have liked. So Encounters of Hero is one that I don't use as much as I've wanted to. Things like Phoenix I used a ton during the Mono Fire days and then haven't used it since. I'm actually still really pleased with that one. But then I have the new Solitary Line. I think this is a really good card and will hold up just because it gives earth attack. It's very general. That's super good. But this is kind of maybe some newbie advice for if you're a new player watching this. Grab the cards and build the cards that are universally applicable. So things like Helena has the agility up, the slash resistance, any sort of resistance. Fenrir is one of the best cards you could possibly build. Titan and Blossoms, if you can get AoE resist, I know that they're limited. Death Machine and Holiday Party, but I know Holiday Party will return, so if you can grab that. And then otherwise, just grab your general, we've got Ifrit for attack up, we have Ramu for magic up, we have Odin for resist, single target resist. Build those cards. One of the best cards in the game is the Trousseau card, and people I think sleep on it because they want to put their defensive cards on, but the hardest arena teams I fight with Helena are the ones that can just one-shot me. It doesn't matter if they're gonna die, they one-shot me first and they can one-shot more people because Helena has huge AoEs. And one of the big differences there is that they have dark attack up maybe, and they also have magic attack up from Trousseau, and I don't stand a chance. So this is definitely, I think, an underrated card when it comes to arena comps. And then otherwise, you can see I'm working on my Secrets of the Heart. I've got it maxed out. I just need to level it up. That's the part that takes a while. And then otherwise, lots of vision cards that are just in the pipelines that I have not built out. But this is definitely a comfortable part of my account because I have all of these things like Ifrit and Ramu. I've got my resists, and I have also some of my offensive cards. So I'm definitely in a pretty good place VC wise. For Espers, I know that a lot of us we all get this Magicite from the presents, and we're just leveling up all of our Espers. So that's not really like a big deal for me to show off. I am going to show you which Espers I've decided to 3-star, and you can see them all in front of you. So obviously with your lower rarity ones, it's easy enough to do them, but for the UR ones, you have to pick carefully because you only get get so many source stones. So the ones that stand out here, I would say, would probably be Ramu. And the reason that I chose Ramu, I'll show you right now, is because of this massive accuracy part of his board. And I'm really excited to put that on magic-based units that don't have a 100% hit attack, and that's for auto and for live PvP. I think that would be very useful. I've also made some decisions to work on cards like Phoenix. Golem, I think, is incredibly useful and gets more agility. Carbuncle was one that I worked on but have not finished yet. But again, I'm very excited for this card because it gives you things like Dark Resist. It gives you so much light attack, and it also gives you things like magic attack up, and if you want to spec into it, missile resist. So definitely a very, very valuable card there. Then there's other Esper. Other ones that I would have liked to do, that would probably include at some point, Omega would definitely be on my list, but as you can see, I am out of the Rainbow Awakening Source Stones, so that will have to wait for another day. Finally, let's take a look at my equipment, and you can see I have lots of UR equipment here, things from the tower, things from like Arena, like the Platinum Armor, but then I've also put time into making all of this raid gear. Now, the raids have become so much easier in recent days, but they didn't used to be, and I used to have to heavily rely on my friends and guild members to help me get through things, and I wasn't even making +5s for a while. But obviously now that time has passed, but things like the ribbon I really wish I could get around to. Otherwise, if we go down to our MR equipment, past all this stuff, you're going to see that I have a lot of +5s. So my policy is to try to make a +5 of literally anything that I can, at least one. And that's really come in handy. So for example, and some things I've made too, like the Sword of Light and Flame Tongue, definitely making 2. Golden Axe, I've never had an axe wielding unit, but I put the time into farming that, and now I'm going to be using Durando, so I'm really excited that I have that +5'd. Things like the Shimmering Blade was so easy to farm, and then now I have that for a Greatsword user, but I also have the Golden Blade. Something, again, I don't have an active Greatsword user on my account except for Rain. So now that's something that I can do. The Sasuke's Katana was something I farmed really hard, not over one occurrence of the event, but of many occurrences of the event. And finally it's paid off. I have Zazan, and I'm so happy that I farmed that. I've never bought equipment in the shop because I've always thought I have the time. I can put this game on farming when I'm marking tests, when I'm prepping lessons, whatever I'm doing. It's in the background, I'm watching Netflix, and whatever it is, and I've been very happy that I've probably saved a lot of Visio. Now that doesn't mean that's applicable to everybody. Not everybody can leave their phone on all the time. I'm lucky to have emulator and a tablet and various things that I can use, but I think it's a really good policy to be kind of just trying to get the equipment that you can, and if you don't want that type of commitment, go to +3, whatever you want, but it is good to pick up items as they come up, because you never know when that's going to come in handy. So this is kind of just a quick breeze through all of my equipment that I've managed to craft over my time playing the game. All right, now really finally, I'm going to talk about my play with guilds, with Arena, and just with PvE content. So I am big on PvP. You know that I love to play live PvP in the class matches. I think it's probably my favorite content, or tied for favorite content. I also do like Arena, but I don't go hard every single week. I do watch every single Arena match I play, unless I'm like, it's the end of the day and I have to just get it done because I've been so busy. I watch every single guild battle that I play. I never skip things. I enjoy every second of it. I'm a very patient person. If you haven't figured that out, that's makes me compatible with a game like this. It can also infuriate people because then they say you're too complacent with what you're given. You should be, wanting more. But I'm honestly very happy. So I like to go hard in Arena once in a while. If I went for top 100 every single week, I would burn out. That actually happened. I went for top 100, I think 3 weeks in a row. And the third week, I just stopped caring and I'm like, nope, can't do this. So I took a little break from working hard on Arena and tried out some new comps. And I felt a lot better about playing the game. And then now I'm going back for top 100 again. And it's, again, very fun to do in little stints. I also play in a guild where we are in Master 3, you can see here, and we're ranked 62. So we're not you know, not too shabby, definitely competitive. We have a very active Discord. We have scouting reports and places where we call attacks, and we theorycraft together, much like the Ready Player Will video that you might have seen recently about guild play. And honestly, being part of a guild is tied with CM for my two favorite contents in War of the Visions. It is so much fun being in a competitive guild. Shout out to my friend Neil, who was in kind of like a, you know, your run-of-the-mill like basic guild that, you know, not everybody logged in or attacked, and there's not much going on there. He came and joined us and started having to, you know, work hard towards guild battle, communicating with everybody, and he became part of the community. He's one of the you know, the most vocal parts of our community now, and he said that, you know, my gameplay experience completely changed because I had this community that I was working towards a goal with, which was winning guild battles and improving our accounts and our actual AI and our characters and all of this stuff, and it just makes the game so much more focused. So if I can recommend one thing to any player at all, it's find a guild that is social, not competitive, but social, that you can communicate with the other people and figure out what your collective goal is and work towards it. That's definitely something that I think anyone should try to find. All right, so that's going to be it for this video, and I want to know what you think. Was my account better than you thought? Was it worse? Were you expecting me to have spent way more money? Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. You can also let me know on Discord. You can join the Discord. You can send me a message on Discord. I don't care. We can chat about it. And then otherwise, consider subscribing to the channel so you can see updated content. And then I'll see you in the next video.